Hi, I'm Fabian Nicieza.
Hi, I'm Jim Starlin.
Hey, this is Steve from Third Eye Comics.
What's up? This is Kevin and Mike with the All-Star Comic-Con.
And you're watching Movers and Shakers.
Movers and Shakers.
Movers and Shakers.
Movers and Shakers.
Unlimited. Even though it doesn't say unlimited here on the microphone, it is still unlimited. It has been good.
Okay.
I'm not going to qualify it as awesome yet,
Okay.
but we are getting closer to awesome.
Okay.
So it's been good. And
Tell
it's
me,
my
what-
first time here,
Okay.
so I'm enjoying it so far. The fans are great, as they always are at conventions, and the show's really, really good.
Okay. So you said you were making that difference. What would you need? Just tell me, what would you need to make it awesome? You said it was close. What else do we need today to make it awesome?
More people on my line. I have about 10 people on my line. I usually prefer to have 25 to 50 on my line. So I want more people on my line. When you only have to wait 15 minutes to see me, that's not good enough. I want you to have to wait an hour to see me.
Of course. So with that being said, can you take me back to that time of the creation of Deadpool? I'm sure you get this many times, but I'm just.
No one's ever asked me this question
but
This
it's
is
always.
the journalistic gold mine you have here.
But
I've
I'm
never
saying,
been asked this before.
but I'm saying it's just surreal now in the landscape that we have, just in pop culture in general, to think where perhaps that character started and where they are today.
It would be if it were an overnight thing, but it wasn't. It was an evolutionary thing, and
Sure.
especially in the last 10 years, you watch that evolution escalate as a result of social media more than anything. When Rob created the character and when I developed his personality and his backstory and the cancer and the tragedy about that, it was all within the context of trying to just create an interesting and engaging and entertaining character. That was all, and when you're doing this stuff, you're not supposed to be thinking about, will it be a Funko toy in 25 years? You don't care about that. Your job is to craft a good story, and that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to craft a good, fun story for kids ages 10 to 14, because that's really who X-Force was aimed at, and that's what we did. We knew the character had something there from the very, very beginning, because the immediate response from the audience was really positive. So when back then you gauge it based on the amount of mail you got, and you gauged it based on interaction with people at store appearances and conventions, because that was really the only way to gauge what they thought, other than pure sales, right? So sales went up, and you assume that means people are interested and like it, or else they wouldn't keep buying it. But really, the letters that came in, the amount escalated tremendously when Rob took over as the plotter and the penciler of the book. And so much of that mail right off the bat said, "This guy's funny, bring him back." And we said, okay, we were going to bring him back anyway, because Rob liked drawing him. He's easier to draw than all the New Mutants characters were. And we knew that we had something that was going to work. A mercenary who's an ass. Okay, that Snake Eyes is silent and deadly, and Punisher is grim and gritty, and Cable is tough like a lumbering tank. This guy was different, and that's what appealed with people right off the bat. And anyone who says that he wasn't popular back then is a fool, because they don't understand the reality of life. We never would have made Deadpool one of 5 trading cards in X-Force #1, which came out just a few months after New Mutants 98, if we didn't smell right off the bat that there was something there. right?
Yeah, of course.
And when he finally got his own limited series, the reason it took so long was only because Rob was leaving to do Image, and I had a bunch of other stuff I had to get done before I could focus on a miniseries. That's why it took until '94 to get his first miniseries out. But that sold 350,000 copies, so it wasn't for a lack of interest on the part of the audience for the character.
Gotcha. And let me clarify, like, Deadpool. I'm a comic kid, and I was familiar with Deadpool, but I was saying in terms of what has happened within films initially. There was so much development hell, I'm sure, as you know, of getting that film to screen, and just by that serendipitous circumstance of the leaked footage that was happening.
Accidental leaked footage.
Yeah, accidental. Now it's even for an everyday person, on the street who is not a comics person. They can tell you, oh, Deadpool, yeah, I know exactly who that is, and blah 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 blah. And the fact that we have that perfect storm of actor that can embody that. I mean, it's not really. It's something that's seems like a perfect storm.
It is. It is a perfect storm. The movie was as successful as it was, first of all, because it was really a good movie.
Yeah.
But second of all, it wouldn't have been as successful if it had come out a year or so after Wolverine Origins had come out. It was a perfect storm in that the amount of time it took to get it done was a benefit and a positive in the long run, both for them creatively and for the character to percolate more in the social zeitgeist, for more young people to become aware of him because they walk into Spencer gift stores or Hot Topics and there's a whole Deadpool merchandise section, for the YouTube videos of the cosplayers at conventions that had been getting 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 hits, now getting 8 million and 10 million hits. So that takes some time to build. So that actually was to the benefit of the movie because so many more people were aware of him. So that gets you to $350 million box office on a $60 million budget. Getting you to $700 million box office, which is what it did, means that you had a movie that brought in other people who don't know the character, who aren't familiar with any of that stuff, who heard it was a good movie. You have a lot of what we call civilians coming because it was such an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
We have a lot of women went to go see it who you wouldn't have expected normally to be the R-rated movie. Partially it's because Ryan Reynolds is in it, and they love Ryan Reynolds because he's so dreamy. My own wife was like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds?" I go, "Yes." And then I said, "But if they do the movie right, honey, he should be scarred from head to toe for 3/4 of the movie." And she thought about it for a second. She goes, "That's okay." So even scarred head to toe, Ryan Reynolds is still worth it for them. And we got to see like Ryan Reynolds' tushy and testicles. So that's all good too. All of that adds to it and builds it, and that's how you get that. The negative to that, though, is that when an underdog succeeds at a really high level, more people want to come out and tear it down. So you always have the concern that when you do the next movie, there's going to be people who want to tear it down just for the sake of tearing it down, because lots of people prefer seeing things burn down than building things up.
Okay, and lastly, like in the sequel, we are going to have elements of that X-Force team. So what are your thoughts about it, and what are you excited about seeing?
I'm excited to see Cable done right. I hope they do Cable right. He's a tough character to get right. I would venture to take a wild guess and say nobody on the planet has written him more than me. That's not even a guess, that's a fact. But the guess is no one on the planet's written him better than me. So I understand this guy in a way that a lot of other comic book writers haven't understood him. So I am curiously wary to see how they bring him to screen. I'm always wary with a sequel because they're harder to do. There's more elements involved, like you just mentioned. So juggling all those different balls in the air is tougher. So I go into it excited but trepidatious, But I was the same way with the first one too. I didn't know what the movie was going to be until I sat in the theater at the premiere in New York with everyone there, the actors and the director, and that's the first time I saw it. So I was nervous as as hell. What if it sucks? What do I say? Congratulations, it was pretty sucky, you know? Or what if it's just mediocre? Good job, 10 years and it's a C+ movie. Maybe the sequel will be a B-, you know? So I go into it with that same kind of hesitation. I trust them because they're very good filmmakers, and they clearly understand the characters that they had in the first movie. I reserve judgment until I actually watch it, whether I personally like it or not, you know?
Gotcha. Well, Fabian, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you
My
for
pleasure.
coming on the show. There you guys have it. 2018 Awesome Con, maximum effort. I'll see you soon. What's up, guys? If you like that video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. Otherwise, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Move and Shake UNLTD, and also follow us on Instagram at Movers Shakers Unlimited.